Let me introduce our panel moderator, Toastmaster Mohammed Amine. He's a member of the Arab Open University Toastmasters Club. Ooh, first university club, good. He registered for Toastmasters in 2015, but he didn't find the passion. However, in 2020, his love for public speaking returned and he rejoined as a member. He was the club's president for the year 2022-2023 and is currently Area 18 director. Aside from Toastmasters, he works in the Information and Technology Department at the Commercial Bank of Kuwait. One of his favorite hobbies is reading. His favorite quote is by Al-Imam Ali. You presume you are a small entity, but within you is enfolded the entire universe. Wow. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Mohammed Amine.
Thank you so much for the beautiful introduction. And this is gonna be a discussion that I've been waiting for. First of all, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. And it's an honor to be here today to discuss a topic that is critical to the future of our society and where we invest in the next generation by empowering them with the skills they need to succeed. One of the most effective ways to do this is by establishing Toastmaster clubs in universities. By chartering Toastmaster clubs on campuses, we create a platform where young people can develop essential skills, essential communication skills and leadership skills, enhance their confidence, and prepare them for the challenges of the real world. These clubs offer a supportive environment for students to grow, not only as individuals, but also as future leaders, collaborators, and problem solvers. Investing in youth through initiatives like these is an investment in their personal development, and it's an investment in our collective future. I would like to also thank our district director, DTM Yasser Gashar, our PQD, program quality director, DTM Khalid Jalal, and especially our CGD, the organizer of this event, DTM Dalia Deeb, for this initiative. Thank you so much. And it's an honor to be here, a part of this panel discussion. Today, we have the distinct pleasure, I have the distinct pleasure of moderating this important subject, and I'm thrilled to be joined by three distinguished panelists who bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to the discussion. First, our first panelist, we have DTM Dr. Kamaljeet. He is he's a director in a technical campus in the Knowledge City with an illustrious career spanning 24 years in the corporate domain. He stands as a distinguished educationist and leader. She currently serves as a director of the technical campus, where she brings wealth of knowledge, experience, and visionary leadership to the academic landscape. A dedicated Toastmaster for the past 3 years. She made significant contributions to the community. She is an award-winning past president and area director, and now proudly serves division director of the Division E district 125. Her exceptional leadership and communication skills have been recognized through numerous accolades at the club, area, and the division level. Having completed 5 pathways in Toastmasters, she is a testament to lifelong learning and continuous personal development. Her journey through the Toastmasters ranks, combined with her passion for education, makes her an inspiring figure in both the professional and public speaking areas. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our second panelist, I would like you to join me in to welcome, just a moment, yes. I would like you all to join me to welcome DTM Mohan. He has a bachelor degree in electronics and communication engineering, an entrepreneur steering a technology startup after 15 years in IT, alongside managing a 93-year-old family business legacy. A passionate public speaker, an avid traveler, having traveled to 23 countries. I want to be like you soon. Created the first of its kind AI chatbot, Ayan, for Toastmasters International in 2020, AYAAM. The first member to achieve Pathways DTM in District 1, in District 120. Created the first of its kind membership dues calculator for clubs and members. He has been the division level ISC contestant, served as the conference chair for annual conference of Division I, Illuminate 2018, served as the assistant division director program quality for Division I in 2018-2019, served as the area director of Area 11, District 82 during 2019-2020, served as a division director of Division A, District 120 during 2020-2021, served as the club growth director of District 120 during 2022-2023, served as the program quality director of District 120 for the year 2023-2024, currently serving as the district director of District 120. He is our second panelist. Thank you so much for the claps. And now, finally, we are fortunate to have our third panelist, DTM Khalid Abdulla, a past District 20 director, a member of 5 clubs, 4 in Bahrain and 1 in Kuwait, president of VP of membership of the third most senior Toastmasters in Kuwait, Active Mind Toastmaster, one of my favorite clubs, a treasurer for the most senior corporate club in the District 20, Bangkok Toastmasters, immediate past president of the first advanced Toastmaster club in the Middle East, Bahrain Advanced, immediate past president of Krypton Advanced Toastmasters Club, a proud member of St. Paul Toastmasters. He has 22 years of experience in Bahrain Petroleum Company, 14 years in IT, 7 years in marketing, and 1 year in transformation, in digital transformation. He moved recently to HR in Bapco Engineers and as manager culture and employees experience. His purpose in life is to lead his kids by a good example of a father to be followed. That's why he is in Toastmasters. Now that we have introduced our panelists, together we will explore how charting Toastmaster clubs in universities can play a pivotal role in shaping tomorrow's leader. I'm looking forward for this rich and fruitful conversation. Being a member of a university club, before we start, I would like to ask our panelists to pin the timer. As you will see the green flag when it is the minimum time, the yellow flag when it is the mid time, and the red flag when it is the maximum time. With that, you will have 15 seconds to wrap up, in which after 15 seconds, I will thank you and we will move on to our next panelist. So, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters and guests, are you ready?
Born ready.
Okay. Now we will start with our first part. This panel is going to be divided into 2 parts. The first part is on chartering university student clubs. The second part is on running university student clubs. I would like to call our first panelist to be highlighted. Can I ask? Yes. DTM Kamaljeet, thank you so much for joining us today. My question to you is, can you describe the university student club that you are involved with and its model, the number of the members, the field of study, and how the students is paying for the fees and the payment fees? Are the members all students, or there are other communicators in the club? And where do they meet? If you can provide us with some details so we can know and understand the culture of that club.
Thank you so much, moderator Toastmaster Mohammed, for giving me this opportunity. I am Kamaljeet Kaur, presently the Division Director of Division E from District 135. Just repeating it for the convenience of members to understand where I come from. So I actually right now is involved with Dr. D.Y. Patil Community Toastmasters Club. It is based at Dr. D.Y. Patil Knowledge City, located near Pune Airport in India. Currently, we have 20 active members, primarily all engineering students, second-year engineering students to be precise, all of whom are paying their membership fees by themselves. Initially, the faculty members were sponsored when we chartered this club, but later on, only 3 of the members are faculty members who are continuing with this particular club. Rest all 17 students right now. The number keeps on fluctuating, but it never goes below 20. Initially, the faculty members were sponsored, but when the students were introduced, we asked the students to pay for the fees. Otherwise, we would have got more than 800 applications if it would have been free. We hold our meetings in a smart classroom on campus, which fosters an interactive and technologically equipped environment. Our club is a vibrant mix of both students and faculty, contributing to a diverse learning experience. Luckily, the problem with such clubs is that faculties will never want to be evaluated by students. But these 3 young faculties who still chose to be with the university club are ones who have that broad mindset that they don't mind to be evaluated by students for their speeches. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. I would like to ask our IT moderator if you can highlight all of our panelists in the discussion so it can be easier for us to switch between the panelists. I would like to call our second panelist to be highlighted. Yes, and our third, so we can be able to switch all between the panelists in an easy way for the conversation. Thank you so much for your note. And I really like the concept of adding faculty members. In AOU Toastmasters, we don't have faculty members joining our club. I really like this idea. And it's a good note also for the students to join with the faculty member, in which they would join together in one platform where they can share ideas and thoughts. I would like to switch on the question to DTM Mohan. DTM Mohan, the same question goes back to you. Can you introduce the club that you are with, the university club that you are with, some details that you can share, the payment fees, number of members, where are you meeting up? Could you share us with some details, please?
Thank you so much, Mohammed, Amine, and good evening to all the my fellow panelists and District Director Yasir, Program Quality Director, Club Growth Director Dalia, and all the fellow members who have joined across the globe. I'm from District 120 and the southern part of India, Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. We have about 30. I have to refresh the dashboard to see if there are 1 or 2 that popped up yesterday or today.
Okay.
30 university college clubs that we have in our district in the state of Tamil Nadu, right? When I say university, of course, the deemed university and then colleges. So these, and we have these college universities for more than 10 years and still growing.
Okay.
We have average of 25 members in majority of them. So we have one university called the Vellore Institute of University, which is quite popular across the globe, which was even listed in the New York Times Square recently.
Wow.
That's how famous the university is. And they have 10 clubs in the city called Vellore, and then 2 in Chennai campus now, and 2 more coming up next month, October. I also have to acknowledge my club growth director, Dr. Ashwati, who is right here in this meeting, that she's working on all these leads. So these are the college clubs, and we also have another institute called Sedu Institute of Technology, which has 4 clubs, and still the management is so supportive and they want to start 2 more clubs. Majority of these clubs, I would say 90%, 95% are paid by the students, right? So paid by the students. Meeting, where do they meet? They have smart classes. They suddenly you see photos of them meeting in the garden or the pavement in the college. So there's nothing like a fixed location. We sometimes get inspired saying they have all the time that they get to meet and do so much more innovative things than we can with our busy schedules. So I think these are few things that that I want to tell you about our college clubs and our district. One thing that we have realized is only engineering degree has worked for us. We also have arts degree where we have Bachelor of Commerce and all those. That doesn't seem to be working for us. We have 1 or 2 colleges, but engineering degree is the one that has been successful for us in our district. And one other thing that does not work is also the management. P schools doesn't work for us. So
Okay.
yeah. And I'm not even talking about the faculty clubs that we have, but yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Manoj.
much. Thank you so much. I'm happy to for the number 30 university clubs in your district. This is a great number. And to reach an international perspective to that is such an amazing achievement. I salute you for that. And kudos to you and for the district for doing an amazing job. I'm going to switch on to our third panelist, DTM Khalid. Can you describe the clubs that you're involved in, the university clubs that you're involved in, the members, and give us some insights and details of the club, the payments, where do they meet, so we can also have a background and a review of the clubs.
Thank you so much, our amazing moderator. Good evening once again to everyone, all of the dignitaries in the house. Wow, DTM Mohan, 30 clubs. I really envy you. If you look at the board reports, we have just 4.3% of the total population in Toastmasters worldwide between the age of 18 and 24. It would be really interesting to just see how much percentage that contribution to the overall Toastmasters community. That's really amazing. For me, well, I've been into multiple ones of them, but the current one that I'm responsible for is Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club, which is just branched from Junior Achievement Worldwide. Currently, we have 47 members in the club itself, and it's backed by my own company. And that takes me into just zooming out and just describing what models of Toastmasters Club that can university have. And I just thought of three models. So independent university students. So it's just a students-only club. And by the way, our CGD was basically pointing out how many do we have. Surprise, surprise, we already have YAT and BEST. So Bahrain Elite Toastmasters Club, chartered by 3 university students, DTM Kharram, DTM Jahangir. Okay, the third name now is not coming in my mind right now. So they chartered that club, BEST. YAT is full of just youth-only Toastmasters Club, and they are all also University Toastmasters Club. DTM Najib, thank you so much, DTM Sarah. What can I do without you, Sister Sarah? So I got inspired, honestly, by those clubs to charter more University Toastmasters Club. And that's where one of the first club that I came up with, Students University Toastmasters Club. I'll speak about it later on a little bit more. Then the second type is university-backed Toastmasters Club. So as like DTM Kamaljeet, I believe, a club that belongs to university under the name of the university where the students, and sometimes also we would have the faculty members being there, and a corporate-sponsored Toastmasters Club, just like the one I just described, Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club. And when we think of chartering a club, we need to, first of all, do some research around which ones of them would fit more. And that's how I started, honestly, in getting to know more about the University Toastmasters Club and seeing how we can basically have more venues in the Toastmasters Club. And these are just food for thoughts, and definitely I'll continue later on. I can see the yellow light right now coming in. Thank you so much. Back to you, moderator.
Thank you. Thank you so much. the initiative that you have done in Injaz was a sequence, and it took an amazing run, and the fruit of it has been shown in the last DTAC that happened with God Bless. They have shown the power of youth in that event. So with God Bless, you have an amazing team behind you in Injaz, and we are all in this 20 proud of them. Thank you so much. With that, we concluded our first question. Now with our second question. What were the challenges that you faced during the introduction or chartering process of the club? And what was the solution that you have taken to face those problems? I would like to ask our first panelist, Kamaljeet. Can you please answer that?
Thank you for the question. One of the major challenges was convincing the students to pay the additional fees for Toastmasters. And at least 60% of the students in our university are getting scholarship from the government. So they don't feel like paying something extra, though actually they can easily afford it as far as Toastmasters fees are concerned, compared to the other speaker clubs or other options available. Toastmasters is really a very affordable option. So we could actually convince them about the affordability factor of Toastmasters fees. And then students started coming forward and they are paying the fees regularly. In fact, some of them are in the Toastmasters for more than 2 years. And they will be passing out this year. So that will be one challenge, because students, when they pass out, they will have to, of course, leave this club. And we give them then community club option. One more challenge which we faced was that when we thought of sponsoring it from the college fund, we actually got too many numbers that it was becoming difficult. The college budget was to sponsor some 50-60 students, and we got more than 300 applications.
Wow.
Sometimes the college wouldn't fund it because the number becomes too high. Then giving justice to all the students, we really can't say yes to one student and no to other. So that's why the self-pay model was introduced, and now the students are paying and the numbers have come, gone down. Otherwise, if it was sponsored, I would say we would have got a very nice number. We got more than 300 applications that time. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I like the concept that you have introduced here, the self-pay for students, because you had a large number of students coming in. The university didn't, financially, it is impossible to like sponsor 500 students. So the self-pay model was introduced. This model would work in an environment where the fees are available. But when you go to other countries like Lebanon or Jordan or Egypt, where the dollar is not available that much, here it could be a hard thing to achieve. That is one of the challenges that I've seen and I've read when trying to charter university clubs in my country. I would like to switch on to our second panelist, Niti and Mohan. Could you give us the challenges that you have faced during the chartering process, and what are the countermeasures that you have to solve these issues?
Sure. I think the majority of challenges that, the main challenge that we have always faced with a university club is getting in there, right? Just that gate needs to be open. I think we've always been almost successful the moment we stepped in. So that has been one challenge, and as the panelist one, Kamaljeet mentioned, who is going to pay the charter fee of 125. We have also, as I said, the moment we got into the gate, we were able to convince the management saying, you take care of the $125, you take care of the $20 fee for the new member, let the students pay $60, right? There are 1 or 2 colleges that pay the entire amount, but I also strongly believe the students should know and have a commitment of what they're doing, because if the entire amount is being paid by someone else, sometimes they will not know the value of Toastmasters and what they're getting out of it. So the challenge has always been getting into it. So that's when the matter of Alma matter comes into picture, and we actually reach out to our members saying, have you been part of this college? You studied there. Do you know any the principal, the head of department, or the correspondent of the college? And it's easy for us to knock their door. So that is one solution that has worked for us, because it's always good to reach out to someone that we don't know through someone else. That is the link between Toastmasters and them. And of course, the word of mouth. We have college students who are part of community clubs. So we reach out to them, or they come back to us saying, I studied in this. The moment they realize and get the value of Toastmasters from a community club, they come back to us and say that I have my college that I studied here. I spoke to my staff, and we would like you to come and talk to them. So that's been one way that we've got. But I should say the challenge has always been to find out how are we going to open that gate. I also want to add, the moment we have that gate opened, we don't say, okay, bring us 20 people, 25 people, 25 students. But we say, the first questions that we ask is, what is your hall capacity? They say 2,000. I say, bring 2,000 members or students, because I want all 2,000 students to know about Toastmasters, because it's not just this 25, but I'll be happy. And we are in a position to, get this name out of Toastmasters to 2,000 other students on that particular day. That has been one best practice that we've been following. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, and over to you, Amine.
Thank you so much. Reaching out to the entity itself is one of the hardest tasks. I have to agree with that. The moment you step in, I like the sentence and the confidence that you gave, in which we know that we are going to be successful when we enter. But reaching out is the challenge. One of the challenges that we have faced is not only reaching in, but the convincing process and showing the benefits of the Toastmasters to the students, especially with the young generation that is currently now. We're talking about 18, 19, and 20 years. Those students still, they are trying to explore, they are rebellious, and you're trying to convince a rebellious youth to come and join Toastmasters, which is not an easy task. I will switch on the question to our third panelist, DTM Khalid Abdulla. What are the challenges that you have faced while chartering your club, and what are the countermeasures that you had?
I faced none. No, I'm just kidding, of course. I'm kidding, of course. Well, just to echo back on the amazing panelists on what they said, I totally agree, of course, on what they said. But if you look at the marketing aspect and the resources, let's start from there. If you look at Toastmasters International, look for resources on how to charter a club. I like the questions that are being posted, by the way, in the chat box. But that's just another testament that can't we just look for these up in the TI dashboard, the TI site, and just get knowledge. So that's one challenge, I think, that if we can just have that focus in, that we would have more as well Toastmasters Club chartered for such sectors. But coming back to my experience specifically, so when I started looking up, and again, got inspiration from Best, Yat, and others, I thought of first going and knocking out the doors of the current university. So I understand that in Bahrain University had 2 Toastmasters Club. And I know that they closed. So I was just looking at how we can basically revive it. Of course, AOU, we have a branch in Kuwait. Can't we have another branch in Bahrain? So these are a few things that we can basically explore. The challenge is that if you want to go this route, is the bureaucracy that you would get out of approval. So the chain of approvals that you need to go under the university itself until the clubs becomes a reality, it takes very long time. And one example is AUK. So we have a club that was about to be chartered in Kuwait, but just because of the bureaucracy, and of course there was a few more than just the bureaucracy, that the club got honestly, Mohammed enjoys this answer because he was part of it. And that's basically why that club did not happen. One more challenge that I face personally, I chartered a club for university students only, because when I looked at the bureaucracy that we have under the current universities, I thought, okay, let's just have one club that would host all of the other members, and they will be just willing to sponsor themselves. And we had the 20, the magic number, but then that happened during COVID. So it was online.
Okay.
Then we had to come in person, and the shift was really tedious because some of the students wanted to continue online, others wanted to go in person because we know Toastmasters is the real stage, and that's the polarities, the two polarities did not work out, because if we want to go there and alongside the self-sponsoring of the venue that they want to have, so that these are all challenges that we had as well when we basically chartered the club. But in the process of chartering, the marketing aspect, how can we speak to students? That's something really need to be focused. One way that I came over this is students wants to hear what's in it for them, apart from the communication and leadership skills. If you tell them that you'll have a CV, that you'll have basically a certificate that you'll put on your CV, that will bring them in. If you tell them that table topics would make you more adaptable to interviews later on when you apply for jobs, that is something that will bring them in. So we need to speak their language, and I believe there is definitely something in Toastmasters International that needs to be focused on. But of course, panels like this would definitely allow us as well to go further. Over to you.
Thank you so much. I would have a small comment about that. In AOU, in specific AOU, because the Arab Open University is not a university for young students only. The students' age criteria is from 18 to 65. So we have students at the age of 60, 65 that allowed us to target not only young people, but also people with experience. So when we told our students that you can join the club, one of the things that I agree with DTM Khalid Abdulla is the CV part, in which, because the students are trying to enrich their CV when they apply for jobs. So this was a point of marketing for us. Another one is that you are a part of an international organization where you will communicate with other leaders. And when I say other leaders, we try to grab them and tell them that there are GMs that are with us, there are company owners, there are businessmen, businesswomen that are with us in the community. So now you can all share the experience and join them and have a conversation with them. I want to thank all of our panelists for this an amazing discussion. I will switch on to our third question. To our first panelist, DTM Kamaljeet, does it take longer than community or corporate clubs to mentor a university student club and put its member on track, especially when it comes to pathways and what's so?
Not necessarily, because university students are quick to adapt and eager to learn new skills. So the mentoring process often proceeds, I would say, faster than a community or corporate club, because they are there, the faculty is there. So the faculty ensures and highlights whose pathway is lagging behind. And their openness to learning ensures that they stay on track and progress rapidly. In fact, one of our faculty has gone to the extent of, because 50% students are from computer and AIDS, artificial intelligence and data science. So their speeches are also around those topics. They talk on IoT and various communication related topics, and use Toastmasters speeches as a option to practice their presentations on various technical topics as well. So I think it actually is helping them not just groom as Toastmasters, but also as technocrats. So I think they are faster compared to community and corporate clubs, far, far faster. As a division director, I can definitely say that. I'm facing a lot of challenge in corporate clubs, but not in student club at all.
I would give this because they're like eager, and they have this fire inside them that pushes them to want to learn and want to be something in their society. So that's one of the reasons why they are pushing forward to be something. And Toastmasters is the platform where they can be something.
And just to add, because I am driving this Academia Conclave since last 3 months, they are helping me in demo meetings across all other university clubs. We have 12 leads and my team is helping me. My students are helping me in presenting how it runs in other universities also. So
Perfect.
thank you. Thank you so much.
Inspiring by students. Students inspire students is one of the things that should be highlighted for all future university clubs. If you want to grab a university club, make sure to include a student from a successful Toastmaster club because they inspire each other. I will switch on the question to our second panelist. The adaptation and learning process. Was faster? Was it slower? Was it harder? What is your experience in that, Ditya Mohan?
I think it's pretty much same. I think the students are fast enough than a community club or a corporate club to adapt, and they have that urge to learn things faster, especially the Gen Z now, right? And they also understand the value, as I said. Just the entering part is difficult. The moment we let them know the value of Toastmasters, they grab it quickly. And they also realize, for example, the BAT or the Vellore Toastmaster, where we have 12 clubs, they pretty much look for that level completion certificates and things like that, because as Khalid mentioned, it adds value to their CV. I've had instances where some of our college members come back and say, I went to the interview today and fortunately the interviewer was a Toastmaster and we just spoke about Toastmasters and nothing else and I got selected. It's a true story, right? So which is actually very good to hear. And we have had corporates, careers.thecompanyname.com say we have a Toastmasters club. That's how we are requesting the corporates to have that on their website. So freshers or someone come in there, we also spread that word of Toastmasters. But getting back to the question of how easy or difficult is to mentoring, I think it's pretty easy compared to the other two clubs because they grab it very quickly and they're also very innovative. For example, we all do the milestone meetings in our clubs. The effort that we put for a milestone meeting is the effort they put for every single meeting. Of course, they have the time, but the mindset and they want to do it is something that's amazing. Every time I go, they call me for something. I think, why were we not like that when, we were then? So that's something that I want to acknowledge. And thank you. And
Wow. Wow. It shows the love and passion and the confidence that the Toastmaster, especially the student when he graduates and goes there for an interview, the confidence that he has as a Toastmaster member to mention it on the CV. Not only that, but to be proud of it. And it's an icebreaker for any conversation that, hey, I'm in Toastmasters, and shows how Toastmaster pushes our future generation to a better place. Super. I want to switch on to our third panelist, Ditya Khalid Abdulla. Is it easier? Is it harder? Especially that you deal with Injaz and you mentor them. I don't know if they're here with us, but can you give us an insight?
I'm sure someone would be around. They are everyone. All right, just to be different, of course, from the other two panelists, I disagree, of course. Now, let me maybe explain where I'm coming from. And this is something I would I got inspiration from both District 120 and 125. It seems that you already have that ingrained within the district culture. This is something really amazing. So we are yet to get there. So from my experience itself, it takes a little bit longer time than corporate. In District 20, we have a culture of corporate, and the corporate know what Toastmasters is all about. And okay, not 100% all of them. So it's good that Ditya Mona is not around, so she cannot pick on me on this, because she is the corporate support committee chair this term. But when it comes to students with their short span of attention, with the lack also of not the mentorship. We have amazing mentors in District 20, but then there is that different level of mentorship that you need to have to mentor a Toastmasters students only club. Of course, there are multiple variances of it. The students wants to be seen, and they are coming from that culture through the school time that I need to have a teacher in a class for me to be visible. And that's what makes it a little bit unique than a normal club, a community club, or a corporate club. They need to have someone who is there, who they can fall back on if they needed to have anything. And so that's culture of school time, bringing it to university time, that I felt, from my humble opinion, through the my experience itself. They need to have someone like a figure there to feel like I'm there, I see you, accentuating the positives within the students themselves. That's what really energized the students to come there and, of course, expand, because someone is there to see them. And now I understand why DT Ahmed Rusfi was there for that long time, and I'm following his lead as well. Thank you so much, and back to you, Toastmaster Mohammed.
Thank you. The validation, the request for validation in the society is not an easy task for a young person. And I can agree with you, DTM Khalid. Like, I'm gonna share a small conversation that happened between me and a student who's rebellious. And when I told him that it's good to do speeches and whatever, and you can have a presentation, and she's like, what is the time that I should give a speech? I'm like, 5 to 7. She's like, no, that's a lot. I want to do it for 2 minutes. I'm like, no, but you have to. You see, you have to follow this. She's like, no, it doesn't suit me. Why should I follow it? And I'm like, Dad, you should think about it as a challenge. She's like, yeah, I hate this challenge. Why should I do it? So trying to pursue them to understand and to follow regulations is not an easy task. Even when you beautify the regulations and easy it out for them to understand, it's not an easy one. I will go for the last question in our first part, and then we are going to go for the second part of the conversation. So our last question is, are there specific types of universities, colleges, or students which TM works better, like private versus public universities, expensive, less expensive, or a specific field of study? Some of the panelists have already shared that, but I want to hear it and hear extra details about it. If you can share it with us, I will start with DTM Kamaljeet. Please, can you share your experience in that specific field?
Sure. Toastmasters, yeah, I think Toastmasters tend to run more smoothly in private universities due to students whose parents have better paying capacity. However, in our case, even though we are affiliated to a public university where the fees means almost 60% students are sponsored by the government, our students are still willing to pay because they recognize the value which Toastmasters gives them. So therefore, the field of study or the type of university isn't as important as the students' enthusiasm and the willingness to invest in their personal development. In fact, this club was chartered because the student had approached me to start a club there. Whereas I was actually, though I was in Toastmasters, I didn't have a club in my own campus. I used to attend the meetings in a community club. In fact, this community club is actually having its meeting in a college, which is one of the most reputed college in Pune, Symbiosis. Symbiosis University is well known across the globe. Our community club meets in Symbiosis Law College. And this student was actually attending meeting in a community club and requested me to start a club in the campus. It was her request that I took it up with the management, and they said, okay, that as mentioned by our second panelist, District Director Mohanakrishnan, we had to actually pay for that $125, and we chartered the club. We didn't actually. And we started with a faculty club under trainer program. for training our faculty. And then later on, it was converted into a student club. Thank you.
Wow, amazing. It's not an easy task, I must say, especially when it comes to public universities, things that are sponsored by the government. Students are hesitant to pay for extra fees because of financial challenges that they are facing. So when you introduce Toastmasters, you have to show them how good it is for their future in order for them to invest in something that where money in that field is really sacred. I will switch on the question to our second panelist. Public versus private. Where does it work the best? Where did you find it that it worked really well?
Sure. Thank you for that. I mean, it's pretty much private universities or colleges. As I mentioned, majority of it is the engineering degree that is working for us. Strictly no B schools, because the time frame they spend in college is 1.5 years, 2 years, where 1 year they're in the college and 1 year they go for internship. So that is not working. We have had 2-3 clubs closed, and similarly, arts college, Bachelor of Commerce, and other things are not working because of affordability, right? So engineering is one that has worked for us. And what else is, as I mentioned, engineering feels it is definitely affordable. Again, you have to convince them, giving them the value. What we make sure is when we go for the open house, I always strongly believe, and TA talks about this in the documents, I think in membership growth, it's the first, you strike at the first impression, right? So we never leave that first impression, take an amazing speaker who can actually make the students connect with Toastmasters. This is really fun. As Ralphie Smedley said, we learn in the moments of joy, and we make sure not just prepared speech, table topics, and all those. We do Chinese whisper, letting them know about communication or any other activity that we do in DLC or the district leader training. So they think it is important, and that's what we follow. So that's something that we sure. I think that was and to summarize, it's the engineering clubs that has worked for us. We have exceptional 1 or 2 clubs. We are happy about it. Yeah. Over to you.
I am so happy when you mentioned that, and I super agree with you. When it came to AOU, introducing fun to the club actually increased the number of our members. Because when the club was so serious, it was so tough, and it was shown like it's a boring business club. But when we added fun and we added themed fun meetings, Halloween, Marvel versus DC or whatever, so they got attached to it, and they became serious members later on during the process. Thank you for this note. I would like to switch on the question to our third panelist, Khalid, Abdulla. Where does it work best? Public, private, here and there?
Well, okay, for the sake of change, I'll agree with the 2 other panelists. Of course, I think private would make more sense, yeah, because of the purchasing power, because of course the setup itself and so on. But regardless of private and public, I think we really need to have a strategy. And when we approach University Toastmasters Club, we need to be mindful. It doesn't just start from the university itself. It starts very much early on. And I noticed that there was also one question there. We have young leadership program, and many of those young leadership program knew about Toastmaster much earlier than university. We have many Gable clubs as well, and DT Modley can speak very long about that. And it just we need to change the culture on why Toastmasters is important. How can we justify the dollar value behind whatever we pay in Toastmasters? And this is not just basically for students, but even for us. How can we see what is not seen? And that's what we need to have. So students reaching university should really have that unconscious bias Once they are there, they know the value of Toastmasters and they can speak it out. I have one who just was a Gavel Club and Toastmaster Arwa right now, about to be a Toastmaster. And just to respond to DTM Murli, I know he's speaking on us in the chat. How can we convince our children? She came through Toastmaster because she was Gavelier and she was waiting for her age to be 18 to join Toastmasters. So that unconscious bias, or that's basically how we can ingrain what Toastmasters is all about for students very, very much early on than that. Thank you so much, and back to you.
It's an interesting conversation, especially when it comes to young people, to understand the value and to guide them how to enjoy Toastmaster, enjoy the experience. Some of them would read about Toastmasters and they will think this is a painful experience. Why should I go through it? But when you enjoy the process, and the process of enjoyment we learn during the moments of joy is an amazing sentence given by the founder and recited by DTM Mohan. It highlights the importance of enjoying the experience, where the young should enjoy in order to learn. Thank you. We will switch on now to our second part. I would like to note that I'm really enjoying the chat. The chat is active and vibrant, and I'm really happy that it is. So just continue with the chat. I'm really happy that this conversation is active and everybody is participating in this panel with us. On the second part, the theme of the second part of the discussion that we are going to have is on running university student clubs. With that, I will start with my first question. What are the challenges of running a student club, and what are the solutions that you have experimented and found successful? I'm going to repeat the question just again. What are the challenges of running a student club, and what are the solutions that you have experimented in and found it successful? I will guide the question to our first panelist, DTM Kamaljeet.
Sure. One key challenge is the lack of availability of students during exam periods, which results in cancelled meetings. So to mitigate this, we introduce speakathons after the exam season, allowing students to make up for the lost speech opportunities. Actually, this strategy helps them to stay on track with their pathway goals while accommodating their academic commitments. So somewhere when we had our first cycle of exams after the club was chartered and we saw that the meetings are not happening, I was made responsible that why the meetings are not happening. So of course, you cannot force students to be attending Toastmasters meeting while their exams are just around the corner. But later on, we started having speakathons. Now this is actually, we have also ended up sometimes having meetings twice a week to make up for the lost this thing. But let me tell you, it is on their demand. We don't force them. They run the club. Yeah. But and one more thing which I see that is really very, very funny, and I was made answerable to this. That's why I'm sharing it to you, that they're very smart. They look at the DCP chart, and sometimes even if they have completed their levels, they don't send it for approval. They keep it for the term and then send it in the next term. Such funny things they do. They actually want to score the best and want to be up on the chart. So I feel that they're very smart. I don't have to guide them for anything. They want to be up on the chart all the time with DCP 8, 9, and they want to be the first ones to achieve it. So those are the funny things which they do, which I would not see in any of the corporate clubs. Thank you. Over to you.
They are a strategist when it comes to trickery. I have to say that they are a strategist when it comes to trickery. And another comment that I would like to give, especially when it comes about exams, like in AOU, when it is exam season, it is a week before the exam, and the week of the exam, and a week after the exam, because they're trying to ventilate. So it is a little bit difficult. So the attendance of the meeting would go down until the day of the exam, but it stops. And when the exams are back, it goes up. It goes up and down during the exam period. But I really like the initiative of having a speakathon after the exams. That would push them back on track. Thank you so much for this. I would like to switch on to our second panelist, challenges. And in notes given to student clubs, and what are the challenges that you have faced with them, and what are the solutions that you have introduced that have actually worked?
Challenges, definitely. One challenge is, as Kamaljeet mentioned, is exam time, right? But the solution that, because exams are there, and I always personally believe, this personal life, work life, something else, and Toastmasters, and we have to respect, the students, because that's their priority. But what we have recommended and the solution that has worked is, we don't let them be Toastmasters when they're just second years or third years. We say all 4 years for engineering be Toastmasters, because how it works, at least in our state, is when there's exam for first years, second years are free. When the second year's exams is happening, third years are free. So even if the first years are not there, second years are still, I know the attendance goes down, the meeting still happens, right? So that is one strategy that has worked for us. So exams are kind of taken care, but when it's something very serious, I read the chat. They are smarter than us. They know how to plan things, right? They make the previous meeting 3 hours instead of 2 hours, or the next meeting 4 hours instead of 2 hours. They know how to catch up, and they're pretty clear and what we are doing, what they're doing. Another challenge that we sometimes face is the payment, because students don't have credit cards, and at least previously it still says the debit cards work, but I've not seen it working in last 3 years. So that is one challenge that we try to have. And what we recommend is, talk to your parents or your because district offices are not supposed to pay. So that is one challenge that we face, when they have to make the payments. Because even if the student, they only have the debit cards, we say, reach out to your siblings or your parents or someone who can pay that. Or if the college has a coordinator, well and good, we take care of it. So those are few challenges in sustaining the college clubs. And I think I did mention a few of the solutions, because I think it's important we address and we keep finding solutions for this, because we are in the 100th year, and it is important that we are all responsible that this fraternity goes for 100 more years only with these solutions. So over to you, Amine.
A funny situation that happened between me and one of the students. He's like, I really want to join the club. Can you? And I'm really convinced. I want to be a member. Can you speak to my mom? I'm like, huh? What? Yeah. Can you speak to my mom and convince her, please? I'll send you the number and we can have a conversation. You can call her. Just try to convince her. I'm like, okay. And I think the call went on for like 40 minutes until she was convinced. And we did the payment, and the member became an official, and the student became an official member of the club. It is not an easy way to convince the parent, and it's harder actually than the student. The student will take it easy, but the parent, he is investing and he's paying already money for the university. Why should he pay extra money for a club? I will switch on and give the question to our third panelist, DTM Khalid Abdulla. Challenges. And
where to start?
And solutions. Yeah.
There are more challenges than solutions. But the club got chartered. We got our 20 members, and we got 2 mentors. Now what? That's honestly the big question that many would just be faced with. When you get into the arena of the students, the challenge is for us to understand them. It's not on them to understand Toastmasters. It's for us to understand them. And many right now just see the end result of Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club with 47 members. But trust me, at one point in time, when we chartered the club, 20 members, we came to renew, and only 10, although it's sponsored by my own organization, only 10 wanted to continue. Some of them felt, as what DTM Kamaljeet already said, we have exams, we have other priorities. And XCOM, like DTM Swarna just said, it's like a chore for me to chase individuals who are not coming in to stepping forward to speak. How am I going to continue with this? I don't want to be a VP. I don't want to be a president. So these are honestly real challenges. And if you don't focus enough, and that's where I come and say, you need to have that hat of mentoring for students and not just mentoring for corporate or community clubs. They need to have special type of mentoring. It could be even educator as well, who would need to understand how to deal with them. Only then, when you understand how to deal with them, so it's on us to understand them, that basically flips. Last week, when I was just giving, and honestly, I know just Bahrain Toastmasters students, or I call them students right now here, they understand sometimes how hard I am on them. Only now she came and Toastmaster Amal, the VPM, she sent me a message saying, now I understand why we chartered the club. Although she was one of the chartered member when we initiated that. And being the VPM of a club that is 47 members, and we have about 33 guests that we don't know how to handle, it's really a challenge. It is a chore, let's just face it. But then when you dig deeper than what we do and the crazy stuff that we do in Toastmasters, then you understand why we are in Toastmasters. So if you get into that shadow behind each student, and for them to understand, what are we doing here? It's not a chore. What we are doing here is a deeper than that. Is a vision that we implant in the students' mind for them to grow. And I like what DTM Kamaljeet just said, for them to be everywhere. I can see right now, and I'm really happy to see in just Bahrain Toastmasters everywhere, literally everywhere. And that's what we need to come for. That's what we need to get into the realization. So no matter the challenges are, it's the vision, it's the path, and not the obstacle that they are basically focusing on. Back to you, Toastmaster.
That is an important note that you have given, to get through them, to understand them, which is not an easy task. And trying to analyze the student and understand the student in order to pursue them to continue with the process. I think this is one of the challenges that AOU has faced. And in order for us to tackle that, we didn't go to the faculty members, no. We went to the inspiring students that have experience in Toastmasters, who have been in Toastmasters for like a year or two. And we told them, you are going to be the mentor of this member. They have a potential and you can discover it and unlock it. When the student is mentored by a peer, they, for some reason, and it worked really perfectly, they unlocked themselves out of that shell and box. And instead of having the process of a faculty member sitting with a student for a year, in 3 months, that student grew, in which now they are giving presentations outside the university. It's amazing. I will switch on to the third part, the third question, the second question of the discussion. What are, from your point of view, of course, the strong points of a university student club, and how can we bank them? I will repeat it again. What are the challenges of running a student club? What are from your point of view, the importance of a university club and the fruits that we can get from a university club, and how can we bank them? I will start, of course, with our first panelist, DTM Kamaljeet, please.
Sure. So university students can participate in, various events. I would say that we recently had our NAC visit, and can you believe that the handpicked students were all Toastmasters, because they were trained so easily to convince the committee, and we are aspiring for a really very good grade just because of the students. We have also allowed our NCC and NSS, some of the NCC and NSS students, because they will be going for the SSB interviews and all that. So there was a special recommendation from the NCC head that NCC students should be given some concession. So now 4 of them have been enrolled, and part of their fees is being paid by the college, so that they also take benefit of the Toastmasters Club. Apart from that, I would say we all know that we are in Toastmasters for public speaking skills and leadership skills. So it's seen that Toastmasters, student Toastmasters become placement coordinators very easily. And they are the ones who are actually helping in the entire placement. So they are the ones who are actually picked even without asking for it. Usually HR says that I want this person in my team. Without even cracking technical interviews, some of our students got placed because of their communication skills. They were used as placement coordinators. I would also say that clubs like Toastmasters truly equip students with skills which are not only valuable academically, but also essential for becoming managers. So they don't start as, technicians, but they start as team leads, managers. That's the edge which Toastmaster gives to a engineering student, I would say. Thank you.
Amazing. It's young people are such a strong force.
Yeah,
That
and to just highlight what Toastmaster Dina mentioned, that yes, right in our first year of induction, we mentioned about the availability of the Toastmaster Club in the induction program. We also highlight that because we all know that foreign universities like volunteering experience, so Toastmaster gives you that opportunity, which they can mention in their CV, and then they don't have to go for extra volunteering in Rotary or Rotaract or other programs. So Toastmaster will double up as a voluntary experience too. So this is the benefit of Toastmasters, catching two birds with one stone.
that is also another point. That is also another point, because they are a force. They are like a train engine that is so strong, that is going so straight. If guided well, if guided to a good track, they will be guided well. If not, they will go everywhere. Because they're young, they want to experience everything. And Toastmaster is like a train track for them, where they can just go through the path and enjoy the experience and the view. We'll switch on the second. I will switch on to our second panelist. The amazing and good experiences of a university club, and the good points of a university club, and how can we as a Toastmaster International bank them?
Sure. See, I think recently, probably every year, but recently Forbes released an article saying what are the top 10 skills that people need. And I don't think a lot of AI or cybersecurity was there. Many of it was communication and leadership and team management. And that is something that we tell our college clubs. And I'm sure all of you would too, unless you were a Cavalier or a student member of Toastmasters. If you ask me, is there a regret for me? I would say I didn't know about Toastmasters when I was at college, right? Because the moment the skills that the Gen Z or the students have now, when we bank on them, for example, today I have a 10-member PR team in the district. I think 3 of them are from college students, or 4 of them are from college students, and I have 4 area directors who are college students who are leading even corporate clubs. That's how much things are working, and there are definitely good points, and we do see testimonials coming out of them. It's not only a motivation for students, but also members from corporates who go through a lot of things, saying when we see a message in a WhatsApp group saying, I got placed in this college, and I think I have to give the credit to Toastmasters. It also helps us reinvent ourselves, saying, okay, I think I have to take more from Toastmasters. Right. So I think that's one of the important thing that, why it is important, a strong point of views of college students or college clubs. And as I mentioned, what we can bank them for, all these skills that they have. They might not know about leadership unless we tell them, right? Today, I can't imagine, college students an area director and they manage 100 members in their area. They would probably get that opportunity 10 years after they get into a corporate that they get right here at 19, 20 years, which is amazing. So those would be a few points that I would want to share here in this forum. I mean, over to you.
Thank you so much. The regret of not knowing Toastmasters when I was in the university. That sentence hits right to the target, I would say, because when I was a university student, Toastmaster was there, and I was a member for 6 months only because I didn't see the importance, and I was rebellious. I wanted to try everything. When I graduated, I came back to Toastmasters, to the same university that I graduated from. I felt the regret, and I felt honestly, because though I wasn't a member, I was involved with them, and I was mentoring them. It hits right to the heart of the regret. Thank you so much, DTM Mohan. I would like to switch on the question to our third panelist. The good points that we can bank from the university clubs. DTM Khalid, over to you.
DTM Mohan, he said a very intriguing thing. I knew about Toastmasters while I was in university, but I was in denial. So it's the same thing. Wish if I joined earlier, but yeah, reason was different. Coming on how to bank on them, it's very simple. Whatever we do for those youngsters is the investment for the future generation. It's as simple as that. And many things would just come out of this if you would just think of the future of this beloved country, district, world. I mean, they are the answer for the future of this whole world. And whatever investment that we have for them, yes, we might just look at the tangible success stories. Now, talking about like DTM Mohan, whatever he said, DTM Kamaljeet, what she said also. But then we have the youngest right now, as of now, the youngest division director came from Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Abdulla Matan. Last year, we had 2 area directors coming from that same club. 2 more area directors came right now from that same club. The assistant PRM is coming also from that same club itself. But these are just what we see. But the invisible is much deeper than that. So whatever we are basically implanting in those students, in those Toastmasters, whatever they learn is an investment for the future. And for anyone who would basically just think of the future and then come backward, then whatever investment, every single minute that we spend for those university students, Toastmasters Club is really an investment that we all should really be focusing on.
Yes.
That's basically my answer. Back to you.
It's the unknown grown seed that we put unintentionally to some point to the students when they are inspired by us, and that seed grows where it becomes a tree, and they would spread the love of Toastmasters, and it will go through other future generations. Thinking about the future generation is a point that we should always keep in mind. And thank you for highlighting that, DTM Khalid Abdullah. Thank you so much. I will go now with our third question. How do you keep students interested in coming back for more? I'm gonna love that. I wanna hear what you guys have. How would you keep the students involved, and how would you bring them up for more and keep them in Toastmasters? I will start with our first panelist, DTM Kamaljeet.
So when we first started, we had this challenge where some of the students were not turning up for whatever reasons. And our VP membership, that girl actually, she was getting demotivated. And then I actually converted that into a credit course. So with that, when they start getting credits for attending Toastmasters meeting, we found that the attendance was almost back to normal. Not just that, I feel that you should tell them that if you're paying for a 6 months term, ensure that you get at least 3 certificates, level 1, level 2, level 3. Your return on investment is then safeguarded. Not just that, it motivates them to stay committed only when the faculty is also observing their attendance and all that. They don't have peer pressure from other students,
Yeah.
but when the faculty is monitoring them, somewhere the pressure is there because we have in-sem marks in the hands of that faculty. Additionally, mentoring the student to align their speeches with academic topics allows them to integrate their coursework with Toastmasters, effectively achieving two objectives. Because as I mentioned earlier also, instead of they giving some random topic or some motivational speech, we told them that you align it to your coursework so that you speak about something which will help you in your final interviews, rather than we don't expect our engineering students to give some inspirational topic about what XYZ must be doing. So we've told the students to keep themselves aligned to the coursework. So most of their speeches are mostly about the various topics like will AI take my job? Something like that. So that actually is something which now one student is even making podcast on these topics, and I am sure that soon some HR or technocrat will grab my student because of the podcast that student is making.
Yes.
And thanks to Toastmaster, because podcast is our level 3 project and he has started working. Thank you so much.
Amazing. I love that. I love that connecting the speech that you're gonna give with the things that you're studying. And this is one of the things that one of my students in AOU have mentioned, and she's like, I don't want to give a speech because I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And I'm like, what are you studying? She's like, English literature. I'm like, do you actually love it? She's like, yes. And it's the only thing that I talk about. And I'm like, because she had an inspirational speech that she should give. I'm like, talk about the character and how that character inspired you to change and make us believe in that. And with that, she connected the thing that she studied with the topic, with the theme and the purpose. And she gave a wonderful speech that we also noted her for that. I really love the point that you have highlighted, connecting it with your studies. I'm going to switch on to our second panelist. How can we keep those young people in those clubs? How can we grab them by the legs and just tell them just to stay?
Sure. That's a very interesting question and an important question. The first thing, I think the most important thing that I make sure I say this part of all my addresses and division conferences or wherever I go, especially students, people come to Toastmaster for communication, people come here for networking, people come here for leadership, but people stay here for people, all right? And I want to be that one person that someone else stays, especially a student, and I ask them to be that one person why their fellow student stays in Toastmasters and take everything possible for their future, not the future of Toastmasters. As Kamaljeet said, I say this again in everywhere, milestone meetings that I go, anything that they learn in that 4 walls in a Toastmasters meeting should not stay there, right? It is success only when they take it back to their work or their college or anything that they do. That is when I believe it is success and not otherwise, right? Similarly, they can bring things from there, innovative things from what they're doing to Toastmasters. Amazing. Apart from it, all these things that we have in pathways is something that makes them exciting. I have to really be thankful to all the 300 competencies. I have not explored it all, but that's something that makes them exciting. As mentioned, podcast or social media or blog post, all these things excites them. Another avenue to explore their skills. Definitely something that helps. And we have something called an incentive in our district. You can go to district120.org and Hall of Fame and see something called Campus to Corporate. What is this? We give an incentive to colleges and corporates because a college student would have never visited a corporate, right? We say you do 2 joint meetings. The college student should come to a corporate and have a joint meeting, so they also get the exposure to a corporate, how we get free food. Just joking, but still matters, right? That exposure of an IT company or any company for that matter. That's something that we believe is important, and we have that thing in our district. So these are few things that are very important, and I strongly believe this is what will make them come back and stay. And that is what, for example, the clubs in VIT, every year the final year students pass out. Let's say about 20 students pass out from all the 10 clubs. We have more than 600 people attending the induction. They never will be able to take everyone. They get disappointed, but they come back again next year. That's how much demand they have created for Toastmasters. And they do have other clubs, like 200 other clubs like photography, dance, but Toastmasters is the only paid club, and we still see that much traction and that many students come take part of the inductions. That is what I want to share, and I'll hand it over to you, Amine.
Thank you so much. The essence of a cultural change, where the culture of Toastmasters would actually change to the best and it spreads over the country, is from the people to the people. Wonderfully said. And it also connects to the validation point where the students want to be validated by the society, by their parents, by their universities, by their teachers. It's where from the people to the people gets them through that. And it shows them that Toastmasters will give you that validation point. Amazingly said. And I'm the initiator from campus to corporate. That is next level introduction for the students to the work field and the connection line between them and the corporate. I really love this idea. I will switch on the question to DT and Khalid. How can we make them stay?
For me to stay, it's good that I have DT Mohan, who's as tall as I, so at least when we take selfies together. I love your ideas, and of course, DT and Kamaljeet, thank you so much for the learning that I'm going through. Well, for me, a few things. Being available is very important to be available. Just like DTM, Modly, we're only available 24/7, only. So being available is very important for them to stay. Leading by example, just for you to be there, for them to see you, how you act, is by itself a learning for them that would basically inspire them and keep them going. Provide continuous feedback. For me, when I finish the meetings with them, I send a voice note afterward to each and everyone who took a role, just for them to be seen and to feel like someone is there taking care of them. And that's basically what brings them back. But what honestly keeps them going, we heard that one of the challenges of keeping a student Toastmasters club or a student in Toastmasters is their short span of attention. What is next? I finished level 1. What is next? I finished level 2. What is next? So if you keep on ingraining in their mind on what is basically coming next and what's the challenge that you can contribute to yourself and contribute to others. I remember last year when we were in DTAC, in fact, it's this year, but last Toastmasters year, there were 5 from Injaz Bahrain Toastmasters Club qualified to DTAC. Of course, you remember this Toastmaster Mohammed. 4 of them came back with the trophies, right?
Yes.
On their way back, I gave them a challenge. I said, your challenge right now is not to come back as champions. Your challenge is to mentor someone to come back on the stage of DTAC and say, I am here because of you. And out of the 5 individuals, I was honestly super amazed. I'm not sure if this is visible. I caught one of them who was mentoring 3 more individuals. So the challenge works. And this is basically just one example on how we basically ingrain that within the minds of those students. And of course, apart from the long-term challenge, that we are doing this as an investment for this beloved country. If you have that emotional attachment for them to come back, for them to feel that they are part of a bigger thing that is happening, this is what would ingrain them and attach them there. And then, of course, show them possibilities, show them opportunities. I had one of the, just like Toastmaster DTM Kamaljeet said, we really need to charge as well right now for those students because they are taking so much of our time. One of the students in that university club came to me and she said that I was picked to be an MC, and they're asking me how much should I take out of my contribution. And that's basically the opportunities, the venues of possibilities that we need to ingrain and for those students, for them to come back. I can see the time is right. Back to you, Toastmaster.
The one of the things that I agree with, no, I agree with both of the points. The challenge, the attention span, because one of the students came to me and they're like, "Why should I stay here for 2 hours when I can learn all of this in a 10 seconds video in TikTok?" And I was baffled because they're right. I mean, but I'm like, the counter to that question, the counter to that was, in 2 hours in Toastmasters, you are experiencing what you're learning rather than just watching it in a 10 seconds video. Another one is challenging them. What I used to do to my students is, I'm not going to say challenge, I would say, I dare you. They're like, what? And when I say I dare you, that triggers the, so he's challenging us. We need to prove that he's wrong. So when I say that, they would jump into the challenge as a dare. Of course, there are some payments that would be done if they did it, like treats and sweets, but it somehow worked with them. I'm gonna switch on to our fourth question, and it is about recruitment. How do you recruit new members in those university clubs? How would you recruit new students to Toastmasters? I'm going to give the question to our first panelist, DTM Kamaljeet. How would you do it?
Thank you. So, yes, first time we had to do a lot of open houses and do it on a regular basis. Now we have a waiting list. So not much of a challenge, because as I told you that when I made it free, I got 300 applications. Now students know the value for Toastmasters. So I think the challenge is only at the beginning. If you are having a good club, automatically there will be many takers for it, and you have to choose whom to give and actually handpick and give the opportunity to the right ones. So instead of just, so we allow guests to attend a lot of meetings. So though there might be X number of members who are already, means who are paying the fees, there are many others who are attending it for free. We allow that only for 3 meetings. After that, they have to either pay or they can't attend as a guest. So that challenge we always have. So apart from that, for the new clubs which we are right now chartering, so a lot of demo meetings are happening, and we use our star performers for attracting those clubs. And so that, because ultimately it is the students who have to urge to the management that $125 is definitely a deterrent for chartering the clubs, I would say. As far as students, they paying for their own fees, they are willing, because they pay the same fees in a community club or in the campus-based club. But the district, means the first $125 fees is something which is deterrent for chartering new clubs. Otherwise, I would say we can actually start a lot of clubs, campus-based clubs. It is the management which is the deterrent force, not the students, I would say. This is what I'm feeling.
That is true. The management and the university itself as a management is what's difficult to manage than the students. And I wish, and I envy, and I truly envy you for the challenge that you have, which is managing 300 applications. I wish we have this challenge. DTM Khalid here, me and DTM Khalid, we are praying for this kind of challenge. And amazingly how you managed that and managed to keep them as involved in the society that they are in, and to the university and the future that they're trying to build. I'm going to switch the question to DTM Mohan. How can we recruit new members?
A couple of things. New clubs, as I mentioned, open houses where we strike this first impression, and it's as simple as telling them, why have you not walked up when we call for table topics, right? We have to let them understand those 4 steps from the chair to the stage is what is going to transform your life. And you will know that when you're being called for that group discussion in the interview in your 3rd year, right? When it comes to existing club, I think it's a bliss. We tell the members in the existing clubs that you don't have to tell them, give those marketing materials. You are the value that you're going to show them. Your friend in your class is going to see the transformation himself or herself, right? They're going to come and ask you, dude, you've been sitting with me right from 1st year till 2nd year. All of a sudden, I have been seeing a tremendous change in you. What have you done? This guy is going to say, I joined Toastmasters. And that is all it takes for us. So that is something that we make sure we tell them that it's just the beginning part where we have to make them understand. And to be honest, it's for example, as a club growth director 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I would have done an open house and probably during the playful times of 1st year, they would have not understood what is Toastmasters. Hey, this guy is talking on the stage. I'm okay. But in the 3rd year or final year, he's going to go into this campus interview and the HR personnel is going to say, I'm sorry, we had to reject you because of communication. That day, Mohan will not even be a district leader, probably finish my district director role and helping clubs out there. But that person realizing, saying, I heard DTM Mohan talking when I was in the 1st year. I should have listened to him and joined Toastmasters so I could have got place in this company. I'm still happy. I think we are still successful 3 years after that open house. I strongly believe in that. And that's also the reason why we always want to make sure that hall is full, whether it's 2,000 seater or 3,000 seater. Eventually, someday, he will know the importance of Toastmasters. Thank you, and over to you, Amine.
Thank you so much. It isn't hard when they are inspired. When they see their friends that have changed drastically, it doesn't become hard to recruit them. And that is so true because we can see that young people, they get inspired by their peers. At the same time, they are envious. And when they're envious, they want to be either like them or better. And that grabs the challenge point where they can challenge themselves. Yes, I want to join Toastmasters. I want to be better than them. So that is so true. And thank you for highlighting that. I'm going to switch the question to our 3rd panelist. How can we recruit young members?
Well, the other 2 panelists give justice, honestly, to this question, but to bring something different than what they brought. Of course, social media already spoke about this. The Gen Zs are really different. They think different than us. So if they can just share what's happening in the club to their social media, many of their friends also would come. But another question is, are we attracting the right individuals?
Ooh.
Yeah. And let that sink. It's not that the growth that we have, one wrong member that we get into the club itself, then the whole thing would just change. And this is, let me just generalize this and bring this back as well to when you have a club that is sponsored by university or by corporate in that case. How can you make sure that whatever you do in the club is aligned to the corporate or to the university needs? And this is something that we miss. And many of us, honestly, we sometimes have it at the beginning, but then down the line, we miss that Toastmasters for university or corporate is a 3-way contract. It's not just basically the students or the member himself or herself in Toastmaster International. There is that middle layer. So DTM Kamaljeet just said, management. How can we prove that whatever we do in the club itself is serving management, be it in corporate or be it. So this is something that we need to always not just bring new members, but cement as well the need for having that club through having more examples, through show back to management on the dollar value, on the sign that they are basically paying, on the return of investment that they are paying. So how can we basically balance bringing more new members, keeping the same energy of the club, but also giving back and showcase or show back to management that whatever investment they had in this amazing club is really something that they want to continue. More questions than answers, but food for thoughts. Back to you, DT or Toastmaster Mohammed.
I think that that was shown in Injaz, like by helping Injaz and by supporting Injaz and by sponsoring Injaz, you saw it. It took time, but it showed how powerful it is. In the last DTAC, we were all inspired by Injaz students and how they provided, and we were all inspired. We want our siblings, our students to be like them, because they inspired the young people around them. And it took time. It took time, but it was done. And also that one point that I have mentioned, that rotten apple, when it's added to the team, recruiting, it shouldn't be like HR recruiting, but it would be like selectively choosing what is good for the culture of the club, for the progress of the club. Thank you for highlighting that. I will now go on for just a moment. I'm sorry. Just a moment. Our last question in this part and this panel discussion, and then we will go for the QA, and we will open the window for the questions and answers. How do you sustain a university club over the years? How do you sustain a university club over the years? I will start with DTM Kamaljeet. Please guide us.
Thank you. So I feel to ensure longevity, we should charge a membership fee. It shouldn't be fully sponsored, because students tend to value it more when they have a financial commitment. Additionally, keeping the membership numbers optimal also allows everyone to get regular speaking opportunities. There's a club in Pune where the numbers are 62. So I can see that those students are actually reaching out to me at division level to get speech slots in other community and corporate clubs. So I think otherwise they should go for 2 clubs inside the same campus if the numbers are that great. The other thing is we also have to ensure that faculty members are acting as mentors. Students cannot be mentoring students over a long period of time, because they live in a span of engineering is a 4-year course. Usually it is in the 2nd year when they join Toastmasters Club. And when they are in the 4th year, they are doing their internships. So they are not on campus. So it is just 2-year span. So we should be ready for that in 2-year span, they are out of the campus Toastmaster journey and should be joining some community club. It's not that I'm expecting them to exit. Most of our students are still there in Toastmasters, but as part of community clubs, not as a part of the campus-based club. Not just that, to avoid scheduling conflicts, we avoid enrolling, final year students fully, even if they come forward, because we know that they won't be able to complete their Toastmaster journey. We want everybody to complete their at least one pathway when they are in Toastmasters. So we actually show them the entire syllabus, all 5 levels, what actually is in the 5 levels. So the induction actually gives them a complete overview of the syllabus, which I don't think any community or corporate club might be doing. But in the campus-based club, they are shown the entire syllabus on day 1, that this is what they are supposed to be reading. So that's the best part about sustaining these clubs in the long run, telling them that they have to complete their entire pathway in a short time. It's like giving them the syllabus and saying that these are your exam schedules, these are the speed slot. So it is completely monitored. We all know that Toastmasters is a self-paced program. So I have seen my friends not even completing one pathway in 3 years. So that happens. But in campus-based clubs, we don't allow that to happen. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. I love that that the wording that you have chosen. It's like a syllabus. So when the students, when we tell them a pathway, they get confused. But when we tell them it's like a syllabus, it's the one that you have in your course, in your university. They would get familiarized so fast with it. And they would get intrigued to know what's in that or what is that. Amazingly said, and thank you so much for that. I will switch on the question to DTM Mohan. How can we sustain that for years and years?
Thank you, Amine, for the question. As always, I personally believe opening a club is easy and sustainability is the most difficult part, irrespective of the type of club. And same with the college clubs as well. But there are few parameters that has worked for us. One is the right student ratio, right? Making sure the all years of students are part of it. So the show is always running and it's not stopped. So they know the value. And recognitions beyond the club, they enjoy what they're doing in the club. But we make sure we tell the division directors, area directors to make sure they are being involved, be the contest master. Sometimes we've had division contests in their college or campus venue. So when that happens, majority of the role players are from the college. They feel big because we call them venue chair, hospitality chair. They feel good about it, and it's definitely a big learning for them. So beyond club is something that helps for them. And of course, as I mentioned, collaboration with corporate clubs is something that we make sure so they get that exposure and wanting to go to more corporates to learn. And one of the thing is a couple of things I want to talk about is also having the management in sync. We always, whenever we are invited to a milestone, we request for 5-10 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on the management time or the decision maker. We in fact give them something called as an exemplary award, saying thank you for support. You're giving that the hall that the students are meeting, and anything that is required, they can always ask them to go over after the college hours, but they don't do. So we give them the small award called exemplary award. And when we do that, last few years, we've been seeing the college management, whenever a first year batch is coming in, they actually allocate 1 hour saying, this is for Toastmasters. There are about 1,000 first years coming in, and we want you to come and talk about Toastmasters because we have seen how the students have transformed. This is one thing that makes sure the sustainability is there because the first years who are coming in already know about Toastmasters, right? So I think these are few things. There are more, but these are few points that I think have made sure that sustainability of our clubs in our district have been good. Yes, I mean, over to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A really good point is the venue itself and the place itself, or the university itself. How would they support and how would they give back to the students and make sure that this initiative is sustained for other students in the future? This is what the Arab Open University have done. They have like something called orientation day for all of the clubs in the universities, in which you would have booth and you would have a direct conversation with the students, so you can invite them to be members, invite them to be guests. Initiative that is done by the place that is holding the club itself is something that helps in the sustainability. Thank you for noting that. I would like to switch the question now to our third panelist. How can we sustain it?
So always difficult to be the third panelist after amazing responses from the first two. Among all of what they said, I totally agree with. There's one thing maybe that is, or two, that I'll basically add. For students, Toastmasters Club, they just came out of schools. They are facing different environment. And at times, they get into little conflicts here and there or disagreements here and there. Trust me, my shoulder was full of tears. It's still wet, by the way. So how can you basically look at all of those positive, I would say, positive energy that just comes in one place? One thing, remind them that they are just one family. If they feel that they are there as brothers and sisters, and whatever, sometimes even in a family, we also have little disagreements or maybe basically sometimes conflicts. But if you tell them that you are a family, and if there is something similar to that, just open up and speak to each other. And that's basically what sustain clubs. The other thing is, how can we also bank on the corporate social responsibility, CSR? So to sustain one club, you need to make sure that the backbone of any district, and I call them the corporate in any district that know Toastmasters, that should basically support such university Toastmasters club. They rely on their parents for their payments. One way or the other, if we just burden them or burden their parents of payment, then there is that, should I just pay for the university or should I pay for both? Of course, university would be the priority. So how can we bank on the corporate to make sure that we have partners in the progress and showcase, like what DTM Mohan just said, maybe we can invite just one CEO in those celebrity or those celebrations that we have, anniversaries and so on, just for him or her to speak on that occasion. That link, that bonding, they want to be seen and they want to be supported by the corporates as well. And that's what would create as well sustainability of such student club. I have a dream of mine to take this idea, crazy idea, it started as a crazy idea of Injaz Bahrain. And it's supported by my corporate club. But my dream is to come for the other board members who are the CEO of the biggest companies in my home country, Bahrain, to see the value of what is happening in that unique club. And for them also to follow the lead and support more clubs. If we can create more of the same, and like DTM Kamaljeet just said, and keep those individuals mentor the new clubs. Again, next challenge. That would sustain more clubs and that would grow clubs. And one day, possibly DTM Mohan, we would have 30 clubs as well in one place. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mohammed.
Thank you so much. And thank you for noting that down. The corporate social responsibility, CSR. It's not an easy thing to connect, but what I think what's needed and what's really, really needed is to build a culture around that support. How can we build that culture and make sure that this responsibility is achievable, it's done, and it helps in supporting the clubs for future generations. This has been a wonderful discussion, and I truly, truly loved it. And I'm really happy that we have actually spoken about it. I've been dreaming about it as a proud graduate from a university that had a Toastmaster club for the past almost 10 years now. I'm a proud member of that university club. And I'm happy to be the moderator of such a wonderful panel. You guys have been the most amazing panel members. Now, we will listen to questions that is going to be requested by members. I would like to ask whomever has a question, please raise your hand, and when I call your name, unmute yourself and ask the question. Please make sure that the question that you're going to give doesn't exceed more than 10 to 15 seconds, so we can allow time for other people and other members to ask questions. Who would have a question to our panel? DTM Morelli, yes.
I'm not going to ask because I have already been warned by Khalid.
Yeah, please.
I want to appreciate our club growth director, distinguished Toastmaster, Our Royal Highness, for doing a great job and the best moderator here. I appreciate DTM Kaur, DTM Mohan, and DTM Khalid, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid, DTM. So it's a great session. I wanted to ask you, how many of this university Toastmasters or the club members have become Toastmasters? I mean, a rough percentage of people who are converted and continuing.
Okay, even our panel moderator ran away. So can you repeat the question just for me to understand?
Of conversion from university to community clubs or corporate clubs.
So from the community, from the Toastmasters that they are in to others. Okay, that's a good question. I would just give 10% so far for Angels. They are going also elsewhere and they are becoming dual members as well. One of them become a VPE of a club, of an advanced club. Yeah, that's just my answer. Leave it to the other.
Maybe I ask DTM Mohan having biggest club.
Yeah, I can, I've seen definitely a few of them. I've not tracked many. Even currently, someone I've worked with, one of these community or the college clubs, is actually the district PRM. He has moved abroad for higher studies, but he is actually the district PRM of another district who has been a member of this VIT college clubs that we have. And I can remember a few of them, moving to community clubs for sure. They always say once you're a Toastmaster, you're always a Toastmaster. So it's sort of the value that they take from it. Yeah.
DTM Kaur, Sat Sri Akal.
Sat Sri Akal. So if the people, means the Toastmasters, go up the leadership level, then there are 100% chances of they continuing in Toastmasters. So we have to motivate them to go up for the area director. I've seen those who have taken up the area director role are, in a more conducive manner. They would like to join corporates or even continue in community clubs their Toastmasters journey. So it is all about motivating them to go in district officers role. If they don't go up that role, I've seen them dropping out. Or if they get opportunity to join corporates where there are Toastmasters club, they continue the journey. Otherwise not.
Thank you very much. Nandri, Khalid, Vanakkam.
Vanakkam. Just to add to that, why it's the case, why maybe the students would want to stay as well in their arena. I would just basically put it this way. Honestly, that Toastmasters club for students is solving an issue that was happening in the past. So for our students who are coming in to join a community club, let's take, for example, they come and see old people like me, of course, only because Toastmaster Mohammed is not old, I'm pointing at him. No, I'm not. You are very young. You can't even join a Cavalier club. That's basically when they feel, wow, I'm living among dinosaurs. Why should I basically continue in Toastmasters? And that's basically why we charter a club, just like, specialty clubs, corporate club. They want to feel safe with the same age, with the same mindset, bringing their own, even myself, sometimes I don't understand them. Still don't understand what's mocha or something similar to that. Okay, well, let's on record. So that's what I mean, right? So you need to create that safe environment for them to feel belong and for them to continue.
I had one of the students that I took them for an experience between different community clubs, and in one of the community clubs, it had like members between the age of 49 to 65. And after the meeting, the student came to me and they're like, "Is this a retirement club for old people?" And I'm like, "Huh? What?" No. It's a Toastmaster club. Don't worry about that. DTM, does anybody from the panelists would like to add or to note something before we go for the next person? Okay. I would like to ask, is there anybody else who would like to ask a question? Any Toastmaster member or guest that has a question? Okay, we have a risen hand. Yes, our the CGD of Division 113, DTM Fernando. District 113, DTM Fernando. Can I hear your question, please?
Yes, thank you for your insights about university clubs. My question is there a specific tactic you would recommend to the first generation of the university club to keep a continuous flow of new members? Because they are engaged, they are convinced, but how do they convince the next generations of university club members?
That's a really good question. DTM Khalid, yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Nice to see you, Fernando, over here. Online, was in person, now online. Well, to answer that question, let me just give you an experience that I had, and just to showcase how strong that bond could be. Last week, was it last week? We had the appreciation ceremony. And in the appreciation ceremony, Injaz Bahrain, who is a branch of Junior Achievement, they recognize achievers. And I was coming there on the stage. I was invited to be on the stage because I was the one who mentored the 5 individuals who get into DTAC. Imagine who was with me on the same stage. The president of the club, who was the first batch of students who joined that club. And imagine, so he was a person who I mentored, and then he is recognized right now next to me as a mentor of champions in the district itself. So the short answer is basically giving them the attention, giving them recognition, treating them differently, that they are adding deeper than just the new members who are coming in, giving them that also act of responsibility or accountability for the success of this club, because you've been there for the past 3 years. What's now? What are you doing with all of the learnings that you have for the club to be sustained, for the vision to be taken as well for the many, many more years? And that's just an experience that I felt, and I'm super proud. And I can honestly just announce his name. He's a current Division D Director, Toastmaster Abdulla.
Yeah,
I would like, yeah, Mr. Mohan, please.
Sure. Thank you for that, Fernando. And glad you asked that question. I think it's important, as mentioned in one of the answers, the first impression is what we strike. And the value that the first generation is going to show is what is going to bring the next generation coming in, right? And when the new members coming, especially we had discussion about students not coming up to take executive committee and all those, has not been a challenge for us because for example, the Vellore VIT clubs are 2 areas by itself, right? Next year it'll be 3 areas mostly. Apart from one thing that I strongly believe is, the area council. That's where we empower, give them leadership opportunities, saying you be this, and learn leadership, even though they are just a club member, not even an ex-com, that they get explored to this and they get, the gist of that leadership opportunity. For example, apart from assistant club growth, assistant area director club growth, assistant area director program quality, these areas or clubs have also created something called assistant area director logistics. Your work is to go book that room, right? For the area meetings or for this. So they feel empowered, and these kind of things, the values that the first generation show is what is going to take it forward to the next generation. But building that first generation culture is very important, and we have to make sure that that is taken care of, Fernando. Yeah.
DTM Kamaljeet, would you like to add something?
Yeah, so I would say that you actually need to give them a lot of recognition. They are ready to take up good opportunities. And if you want them to continue, like I mentioned earlier also, I would give you two examples. Like we have one Cavalier who joined our community club where I'm having dual membership. She's from Qatar. And
Okay.
she was a Cavalier in Qatar, and she, at the age of 20, joined college in Symbiosis Media School. And she
Wow.
joined club in a community club because Symbiosis doesn't have a club by themselves. And now she is the district awards co-chair also. So
Ooh.
imagine the kind of accolades she's getting because she's committed to her Toastmasters journey. And I'm very much sure that even in her corporate journey, she will be having an accelerated journey because of her commitment to self-learning. Because Toastmasters is not just about public speaking. It is about many, many things. It is about networking with, like most of the corporate clubs, the people who are involved in the corporate clubs are at the, middle level or top level. So she is getting connected to these people. So I think these people, and even why I joined Toastmasters, because the first Toastmaster I had met in my life was my intern. And he Kunal Sapal, and he has his own company now. He is now in 10th year of his own firm of IPR, intellectual property rights. So they think very different. All these young Toastmasters would be having their own startups if they don't get placed. So they have a different kind of energy, which I think we just can channelize with the help of Toastmasters, because it's not just public speaking, it is much more than that, because it teaches them how to actually run meetings. It's not easy. We all know that to run a meeting, even in our own corporate, we require so much of tools, and they do it in a volunteering fashion. I cannot get the same kind of service by my secretary or by my office assistant, which Toastmasters actually, these young Toastmasters bring to the table. So I would say it's just about giving them the platform. We must reach out. Thanks to our second panelist, who actually has given me a lot of motivation today, that I will definitely take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Not just one club, maybe every university we can have 20 clubs. Thank you so much.
This is really good, mentioning that the track and the platform that allows the students to shine. They have a lot of energy, and with the power of Toastmasters, that energy can be directed into good stuff for the society, for the country, and most importantly for themselves. So true, and thank you for the words that have been said. We have another question by Toastmaster Unoud, or our guest Unoud.
No, that's Toastmaster Ano. Thank you very much. So thank you everyone for an amazing session. And I don't know if it's a question, but it's other. It's one of DTM's Khalid's kind of questions where it just gets you into a cascade of thoughts. And the question is: we all know that student clubs are very much motivated and moved by other students who have been an example that would push them towards creating and initiating their own university clubs. But what about other champions? And specifically, I'm asking about student representative groups, something like a student union, how to tackle these groups, because I have two very conflicting experiences. One where a Toastmaster club was initiated by the student union, and another was also kind of initiated through the student union, but then the agenda of the union gets somehow conflicted with the priorities of a Toastmaster club. So how to tackle similar champions? And I think this could also be reflected on other possible champions like alumni groups and even academic or faculty member groups. So how can we tackle these champions into actually initiating a club, but also ensuring that that won't get into the way of a true Toastmasters club priority? Thank you very much. DTM Khalid, of course, I understand with the modest numbers that we have, if you don't have an answer for that, I'm just saying. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM Anoud. DTM Khalid?
That's exactly what she's told you not to do, but I'll go for it.
That's okay. That's okay. I want to hear it. I really want to hear the answer.
No, my answer is DTM Al-Anud is it's not either or. It's always what is the need at that moment. So if the need at that moment is if the driver is basically the whichever students or the what do you call them, the students council, the students basically group. So if they are the drivers to create the club, you need to basically listen to them and strategize and build on the club idea for the club to be a reality. And that's basically what the student union. Thank you, sir. I don't know what am I going to do without you, DTN Murli. And that's basically what we need to do. So where is the need? Who is basically raising the need and who sees the need that before everyone else see it? And that's basically if the students unions are the ones who are basically requesting for the club to come, then the students union is the one who would be basically making them feel that they are the ones who are driving the club. And how it's similar to the corporate club. How can you make them shine? If the club would make them shine, they would support the club for the years to come. And that's basically my humble answer to this. But I would love, of course, to hear from the other two panelists.
Please, DTM Kamaljeet, what do you think?
I think that sometimes, as rightly mentioned, student unions use Toastmasters platform for ulterior objectives.
Yeah.
So that is the time when you as management have to step in, tell them that, do you remember that we don't allow to discuss politics in Toastmasters? So if they have ulterior objectives, usually they are political. So we should tell them that we are here for Toastmasters, vision, mission. All those things have to be brought back. You need to have management intervention and tell them they are students and bring them back to track. That's the only way you can tackle it. If you leave them on their own, it will not be okay. It will lead to some mishaps. So I would definitely say that we need to intervene from time to time, ensure that they are running Toastmasters in the best spirits of Toastmasters and not for ulterior objectives.
Yes. DTM Mohan?
Sure. Couple of things. Of course, unions and all those, we have such situations. What we made sure is, as simple as that, wherever you see there's something happening, make them stakeholders, right? So when there is a board, I forgot what the name is. It's like student council or whatever it is. I forgot. There'll be someone from the Toastmasters in the university be part of it. So it's not that they can, move them away or put Toastmasters away. They have to represent it, and the management knows it. The management is a stakeholder with all the induction and all the exemplary award that I mentioned. So we also involve the management, give them award on the stage in front of all the students and not just the Toastmasters. So the other students also think the management is supportive, and they are supportive, right? Same goes with the alumni. While we have majority of the alumni supporting, I also want to quote a particular college that we opened. It's actually the only government college that we have, not the private one, where the alumni of batch of 96 came and said, Mohan, last 3 years, we have not had Microsoft and Logitech hire not even a single person. I think it's important to have a Toastmasters club. And the alumni batch of 96 is actually sponsoring for 25 students. So the alumni, we made the alumni come and speak. Than the open house, what worked was the alumni coming and speaking. Our college is known for this. It really doesn't look good when you don't get selected in Microsoft, right? They were able to relate when their super seniors come and speak. So my simple thought here and the bottom line is, if there are conflicts, and as district leaders, we have enough conflicts to manage and not those internal college conflicts, right? So make them all stakeholders in this, and I think it's all solved. Yeah, over to you, Amine.
As a student, we have faced this issue where one of our members was in the student council, was a part of the student union, and was a part of a specific sect in the student union. And they wanted that sect to control our Toastmaster club. And I'm like, She's like, yeah, they're good, they're fine, they're good for the future of the club. And here the point of that was beautifully highlighted by the by DTM Kamaljeet. No politics are allowed to be discussed in the club. You're not allowed to use politics in our club. And then what we did is we have agreed upon, after discussing that with our excom, with the excom of the club, that we shall not accept any student who's a part of the student union. So if you want to be a Toastmaster and if you want to be a leader in the Toastmaster, you have to dedicate your life, dedicate your student life to our mission, because we have a mission. So what do you want? A sustainable union or a sustainable future for your own benefit? That's the motto that we had, and that's how we grabbed the student to stay with us and leave the student union, and she did. We are over time, and I hate that because I want the discussion to continue. I'm really sad that we are ending this discussion. I want to thank you guys seriously for the opportunity. I really enjoyed the conversation. I thought that it would be difficult and the management of it will be difficult, but God, I enjoyed each and every point. The points that were highlighted by DTM Kamaljeet, DTM Mohan, you gave me some beautiful insights, and I noted all down here in my notes, and it's all noted. I will steal some ideas, that's for sure. And DTM Khalid, Abdulla, you gave us a point of how leaders can interact with their students. So thank you for that. Now, with sadness, I will end this panel discussion